Hey guys, today we have this 51 Husqvarna chainsaw. This is a 50.9 cc saw. Currently have a 20-inch bar on it. Now, what we're going to be doing to this saw today is we're going to be taking 3 consecutive cuts before I've put a new air filter, spark plug, and new gas filter, and maybe do a muffler mod. And then once we're done doing that, we'll take another consecutive 3 cuts and see the difference. So let's get right into it. Hey guys, we got about this 9-inch log here. We're gonna make 3 consecutive cuts on it and take the average time from those 3 cuts. So here we go. So, for what we bought for this saw was basically a little tune-up kit. What we have in here is this new air filter. We'll be putting that in there. New gas line, enough for 2 gas lines. I'm not sure if we'll be using this or not because I haven't opened it up yet. New spark plug, new gas filter. So these are some of the things we'll be doing to the saw, as well as a quick and simple muffler mod. So now that I got the 3 screws off the top for the cover, you can see down in there and around it, and clearly there's quite a bit of particulate and chainsaw chips and whatnot, and we don't want that getting into our carburetor or anywhere else when we're taking off our air filter. So as I said, we're gonna go clean this with the compressed air. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do on the Husqvarna 51 is we're gonna remove the air filter and see what our gas line situation is. See if it's far gone or what. So first thing is this top piece just clips on. So by taking your flathead, prying there, pops right off. Now this air filter isn't very bad, but it still does have fine particulate, and this is a well-used firewooding saw from the person that owned it before me. So now in here, there's 3 screws, 1 on the bottom and 2 that go into the carburetor. And our gas line comes out right there, goes around up to the side of our carburetor. So let's remove these 3 screws now. 1 there, and 2 there. So now that we have, there's some very aggressive threaded screws. Now that we have screw here, screw there, and the one down in there, now all we have to do is slip off our choke and this. And now, because those screws held on our carburetor is going to come right off. So now, here's the carburetor for the 51. And this gas line seems to be stiff, not mushy. This gas line is probably fine. And I think it's more quality than the one that I ordered there. So we will end up reusing this gas line because it's fine. So now let's get out our new air filter and get it ready to go on. So here is the two filters. Here's our old filter. It clips on and off, which is handy because if you need to clean it in the bush, you can just tap it off without tools, right? But I have this air filter here, and it has a star head screw in there. So we'll probably end up slotting that out. There's the back. As you can tell, exact same. Just one's new and one's old. Alright, so let's get this apart. So here we are at the pistol grip end of the saw. And so now our carburetor is virtually completely detached from our cylinder, except for our gas trigger and our choke. So we only need the back side of our filter right now. So first thing I'm going to do is roughly line up these two coarsely threaded screws. Now you can see why you'd want it to be somewhat clean in there, because the carburetor just comes right out. So we got those lined up now. Lined up into the carburetor, that is. And now we're going to line it up to our cylinder. Okay. So we're lined up to our cylinder now. So now we're going to tighten them in there. Now that we got the two screws on, going through our carburetor into our cylinder, now we're going to put in the one screw in this bottom left corner. So now we've got our three screws put in, and our trigger gas mechanism is working, our choke mechanism is working, everything is in working order. Now we are putting on the front of the air filter, like so. Putting in a screw, and now we're just tightening up that screw. So, now that our air filter in there, it's time for some spark plug action. So there's a spark plug located on the top of the piston. So as you can tell, there's your piston on top of the cylinder. Looks kind of black, grimy, and corroded. So having a fresh piston in your saw can improve your saw's performance. So there we are. All we're going to use to take it off is our handy dandy chainsaw tool. You want to make sure that around your spark plug is very clean, so you have nothing falling down into your cylinder and piston. So there we go. There's our old spark plug. And here's is our new spark plug. So you want to make sure you're putting these things in real straight. Even helps to do a couple turns in the opposite direction just to get it started. Okay, we got it in there finger tight, and now we'll tighten it about the same amount it took to take it off. You never want to go too tight with these things. Right about there. And you definitely don't want to go too loose so they're not rattling around. So now we'll put plastic piece back on. And there we go. In with the new, out with the old. Okay, so we're on the gas tank end of things. Now, going to take off my gas cap. Just like that, simple as that. Use your fingers. And then for this part, which I've done a couple times and I find to be easiest, just to use wire. So I got this small piece that will grab my gas line. So now that I got my gas line, and it's not long enough to just pull it right out, I'm gonna try and get a hold of my filter here now. So you just keep working it like this until you can get it out. Okay guys, so we got new air filter, new spark plug, new gas filter. Now we're gonna mod the muffler and then tune it. So to take off our muffler, there is one bolt here on the log dogs going to a brace, and then two bolts that are going to your head through your muffler onto the brace. So let's take off those. So now that we have both of our nuts and our bolt that goes through the side of our dog removed, we can remove this support piece. There's that. And then here's the muffler, and that comes sliding right off of the cylinder. Now you want to be careful. Usually your muffler will have a gasket. Now look at that restriction in there. There's 4 holes. That's it. And then there's a spark arrestor screen. Let's check that out. So, now that we've taken off both of our screws, we can take a look at this screen. It's not too bad. Just a bit of goop and gunk around the edges. No big deal. Wow, is this thing ever choked down? So all I'm going to do to open this up a bit more is with the Dremel, because that's what makes most sense to do it with, is 2 slits across there. So now that we have our muffler taken off and apart, I'm going to just put that back on there roughly. You can see I have my 2 lines there. That way, and then we'll cut that with the Dremel. So now that we've got our muffler apart, we're going to cut out those 2 lines that we did. So there we go. We got our 2 slits. Now I'll show you how I bend those. So what you're going to want to do is take a flathead screwdriver and a pair of pliers. And what I find to work best is, actually for this I'm going to pop this piece on there like so. And what I do is I'll put my flathead in there like this and push down, and it will start to work that piece down. You just want to pry it a bit like that, like this. Like that. Now do that to both sides, and then you take your pair of pliers once you have it indented like that. Stick your pair of pliers in there and just start to work it. I'll show you when I'm done this. So we got that fume director back on there, and there's what our finished product looks like. From those 4 small holes in there, you can see there, to that openness. Now I'm just going to give this quick blowout and put it back on. Okay, so now we got our new air filter, new spark plug, new gas filter in, and our exhaust mod. Now all that there's left to do is we're going to put it back together, high and low jet tune, and go time and run her through some wood and see how much more quicker she cuts. I'll expect we'll see a bit of a difference. Here we are, guys, with the Husqvarna 51, and after we've done our tune-up kit to it and did the muffler mod, and she sounds a lot better, and we're back at it with the same log, and we're doing another 3 cuts. And just wanted to mention the tune-up kit again was the air filter, spark plug, and the muffler mod. This was with no tuning adjustments yet, and this is with the previous sharpen that we had on the saw for our first cuts, and also our gas filter too. Hey guys, it's BC Bushman here. I'm signing out for the day, and just wanted to say I appreciate whoever watches these videos, and I enjoy sharing what I do, working on these saws and other stuff in the BC bush, and just want to say thank you guys and have a good rest of your day. Bye.